So I've been testing out this advanced mopping robot vacuum cleaner here. It is from eufy. It is the X9 Pro model. It has Mop Master, so using dual mops that apply a kilo of downward pressure, rotating at 180 RPM, it's going along scrubbing your floor. So that's 3 wipes per second. And not only that, when it detects carpet, the X9 Pro will lift up those mops, ensuring they're not being dragged over your carpets and mats. It does have a multi-directional rubber brush, which is tangle-free, and it does protect your floors because there's no bristles to scratch up polished hard floors. Suction performance is very powerful at 5,500 PA. It has iPath, which is laser navigation, so it's very efficient and fast in its cleaning, and it even has AI.See too, which does detect things like shoes, cables, and it will go around them, ensuring it's not going to get stuck and have to send you a message that it's trapped, which other models do. And once it's finished doing all of its clean, it can go back then to the auto clean station here. So this is where it will charge, but also scrub out and rinse those mops and dry them at 40 degrees Celsius, ensuring there's no bacteria growth and they won't smell. Included with our eufy X9 Pro, you will find our power cable. There's a quick start guide, and we do get a spare filter. The other is already installed in the X9 Pro. This vacuum uses a combination of a time-of-flight front-facing camera for obstacle avoidance with RGB camera, and this here at the top, so that's our LiDAR, and here we do have 3 buttons. So spot cleaning button, power on, and it does have a home button to send it back to the dock so it can auto clean those mops. Now lifting this up here, we've got access to our filter, so very easy to remove that. Our dustbin capacity is 410 milliliters. So our washable filters here, that is replaceable, and we get that extra one that I showed you before. So you need to press on the side. You can then open it up and empty out the contents. Notice it has a 2-stage filtration system. So right here in the inside, there's a very fine mesh. So that's stopping a lot of that debris first before it then gets to the washable filter. And notice how the vacuum does have a D shape to it. So it's not your typical round vacuum. The D shape means it can get into the corners better and clean better around walls. And this is eufy's AI.See system here. So this can accurately avoid obstacles with its 3D time-of-flight camera and RGB camera. There are some sensors here either side. There's rubber at the bottom and your typical sensor here, the bump sensor. So if it does bump into any furniture, which it shouldn't, but sometimes it does happen, it will press in there and it does detect that. The sensor on the right, located right here, enables the eufy X9 Pro to get as close as possible to the walls, right up against them, to clean right into the corners there and the edges. And because of that D shape, as mentioned, this side sweeper brush can get into those corners as close as possible for the best clean. So this mop is not your simple just wiping across the floor lightly. No, both of the mops here, they rotate 180 times per minute. So that is wiping the floor 3 times per second. And they are applying 1 kilo of downwards pressure. And notice the mop design too. The microfiber they've used is a little bit different. So this is a pentagon shape to it. And that, they do say, is supposed to reduce the wear of these and make the mop material last longer. Now they are very easy to remove. There's Velcro that just holds these Mop Master pads in place. So you can remove them like that and then put them in the wash. The mopping is also very efficient. Notice how they are overlapping here, the mops, so they've got full coverage, and the mops are as wide as the tires here. So this ensures it's not going to be leaving any tire tracks behind. Now this is a very powerful robot vacuum. Suction performance is 5,500 PA, and our brush here is a floating rubber style brush. It does not have bristles, and that is to help cut down on the amount of hair that's going to get tangled in it. Now because it's a floating brush and it goes up and down, it adjusts to the floor levels and it gets as close as possible to your carpets and your mats. Now for maintenance, it's very easy to remove it. There's 2 little tabs either side, so you just pull up on that and you can take out the brush completely. It does also contain these 2 little lint brushes here. They're to help remove and loosen up any hairs. 360-degree front wheel, so this can be removed for maintenance and cleaning. Here is our carpet sensor. So when it detects those carpets, it will lift up those mops, as mentioned, 12 millimeters. Downwards firing sensors here. This is our side sweeper brush, which will pull in debris from corners and the side of the walls into our main brush right here. Then the auto clean station for the X9 Pro. So this is where it will go back into the station. It will rinse and clean those mops, and it will dry them too at 40 degrees. This prevents bacteria, odors, mildew. You're going to get none of that because it will dry those mops out. Now through the application, you can adjust the timer, how long you want to dry, and the intervals of when it goes back to re-wet and clean those mops. By default, it's 10 minutes. So this washing board here was where it scrubs up those mops, cleans them out, and then sucks out the dirty water into the 4.1 litre waste tank at the top. This is removable for maintenance, for cleaning. Both of the water tanks are accessible from the top. So the lid just lifts up. There's a magnet that keeps it held in place. By the way, the build quality of everything is very good, the plastics. So you just got the wastewater tank there. You can remove and empty that quite easily. And here we do have our clean water tank, as it does have this easy access water inlet for filling it up. The power in cable is located here at the back, and we have this handhold there to allow you to move about the auto empty station. And then the application. So this is called Eufy Clean. You've got it on iOS and in Android, which I'm using right now. And you can see the robot vac or other devices of Eufy Cleans that you do have, that you'll have added there. Now, just from this menu here, I can go straight away to start cleaning. You can see where the vacuum level is, or you can tell it to go back to the dock, but it's already there. That's why it's showing the charging icon. So going into this, it'll load the map up, and you can see it's customized and zoned everything. So it's made its own rooms here for me. You've got options to clean by a zone. So this is almost like a spot cleaning, or the area you want. So if I want, say, this area right here, then I can simply go along and select that. You can resize this, of course, and I can get it to clean it twice or just once. You can edit the maps. You've got multi-map mode, so you can save different levels. You can set up a no-go zones, virtual boundaries. That is all there, which is great. And with the cleaning modes, you can have auto, or you can get it to clean by rooms here. So you could say that I want it to clean this one here, then this one, and just here only, then hit start, and it's going to clean that. So you can see here it's charging at the moment. So if it wasn't in the dock, I could send it back to clean the mops to charge if I wanted to. The modes here, so you've got vacuum only, you've got mop only, or vacuum and mop, which is what I leave it on, and the suction performance. So in the maximum setting, that is the 5,500 PA. Water level, you can adjust that too if you wanted to do that. And then you've got various different other options in here. There is a lot. So you've got your maps, as I took before. You can manage those maps. You can save them. You can set up the multi-map saving. And that's where you can go and edit and set up the no-go zones. Schedule, so you can add a schedule here that you want it to say clean every morning at 10 a.m. when no one's in the house. Well, you can do that. Cleaning history, carpet cleaning settings. This one I would leave on. So what it's going to do is use that boost IQ. It's detecting that there is carpet and really increase that suction performance just to aid the cleaning, to make sure that it's going to be cleaning quite deep there and get rid of all the stuff that you want, dirt, muck, whatnot. Base station settings, you might want to adjust this. So the auto mop washing, you can disable it if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but hey, if you want to manually wash the mops yourself, you can. And the frequency, so you can get it to clean every 10, 15, or 5 minutes to go back. It will clean the mops, re-wet them, and continue on with its cleaning. Now, the drying here, you've got our options. So you can set it to 2, 3, or 4 hours, and that's at the 40 degrees. It's going to kill off any bacterias, mold, or whatever, so those mops do not smell. That's the idea, to have it there. And it is important because you don't want to have mold growing in the mops, of course. So you've got firmware updates. I've received one already. The AI.See settings, so you can disable that if you wanted to. And that's another setting that I would leave on. It's on by default. Robot settings, so there's a lot of stuff here. Auto return cleaning, child lock, and a few other bits and pieces in there. Do not disturb mode. There's another one in here that you can go into, is voice settings. So if you don't want the by default English female voice for the voice feedback, then you can set it to male. I keep it on male or female. I was testing out both of them, and you'll hear that later on in this video too. So it's all in there. There's a lot of options and settings, and we pretty much have everything that you would want with a robot vacuum cleaner with this application. Then the cleaning performance, we've been impressed with our hard floors, the tiled floors around the house. So it uses its AI path, laser navigation, in conjunction, of course, with the two front-facing cameras. So the 3D time of flight RGB camera with the obstacle avoidance. I'll talk about that shortly, but it maps out the rooms really quick. There's even a quick mapping option, and it will proceed to go all around the edges first, and then it goes around the furniture. It will zigzag and fill everything in. And when you look at the map, you can see its progress with the squiggly line, and it's very efficient in its cleaning too. And we've noticed the floors have been looking very good. It just maintains them being really quite nice and clean, especially with our white tiled floors. Now, I did a test that I always do with my vacuum videos here. Proceeded to make up my own special brew here. So dirt with coffee and a little bit of sand, so adding a bit of grit in there too. I smeared that on the white tiles and let it dry. So it was mostly dry, and then proceeded to set the X9 Pro onto that task. So you can see now that its first pass got rid of almost all of that muck there. That did surprise me. So excellent cleaning performance with the microfiber cloth it has on the bottom of it, and the pressure that it's applying, just scrubbing it, picked up most of it. The second pass is where it got really everything. Now you can see as I go over it, there's a couple of little black specks. Now, that is not dirt that's stuck on. That is in fact tiny little chips in my white tiles there. And AI avoidance that it does have. So it's called AI.See, and I set it to the task of going around, if it could, some shoes, or one shoe there, child's toy, and a cable. Now you can see it did an excellent job. This really did surprise me. Impressive AI obstacle avoidance. It went around it, and when you take a look again at the application and the map, you can see where it spotted those things there. So it's showing the little icons, and it did not suck any of them up into the main brush, getting it tangled or anything like that. And speaking of tangling, that main brush, after doing all the tests that I've done, I didn't really notice any hairs getting stuck in it. I can't say the same about our other brands of robot vacuum cleaner with the bristles. About once a fortnight or so, I've got to clean it. Look at how bad it gets after 2 weeks. Full of hair. Yuck. It's terrible. And it shouldn't happen with this model here because it's tangle free. So I proceeded to get it to clean now the carpet, and this mat here that I do have, I laid down some cornflakes all crushed up, random dust, cat fur, long hair. As you can see, it did a good job. It took 2 passes to get pretty much everything. So depending on how large your area is and what you're getting it to clean, it will go back and what you set in the application to our auto clean station. This is where it will clean off those mops, re-wet them, and it will go back out and do its job. So what does it sound like? Here is a sample of what you can expect when the eufy Clean X9 Pro is doing its thing, cleaning those mops. It scrubs them out. So it's not that loud, it's just the gurgling noise you really hear there. And when you take a look at the contents of the dirty water tank, wow, it turns brown quite quickly. Even though we regularly mop our floors in this household, I was surprised to see how dirty it does get. And if you take a look at the mops, they do attract quite a bit of dirt. You can see a little bit of grime in there. They're definitely getting dirty, and you notice that the floors are just looking so much better. And the dustbin too, taking a look at that, it's picking up all the typical bits of fur, hair, whatnot, muck is in there. So once it's done, all of it's clean, it's finished, it's going to go back for that final rinse and scrub and clean of those mops, but then start to dry them. So that is where it will take 2, 3, or 4 hours, whatever you want to set in the app. By default, it is 3 hours. Dry off those mops to ensure that they're not going to smell, there's no bacteria on them. And it's 40 degrees and it's using the heat. And you can hear, yes, the heater in there drying them out, a bit of a fan noise. Here's a sample of what it sounds like when it is drying out those mops.
Start drying mops.
So there we go, that is my hands-on with the X9 Pro here from Eufy Clean, a fantastic robot vacuum cleaner that sweeps, it mops, and it does an excellent job at that mopping as I did show you. Really surprised at how well it does clean and picks up the dirt and everything. It's got the 5500 PA maximum suction performance. We have the AI path laser navigation, and we do have that AI.See, so the obstacle avoidance, another area where it is very good. Really surprised me how it avoided everything. It's all up, a great mopping vacuum cleaner here from Eufy Clean.